hello. My friends, welcome to the live streaming of potentially the biggest chapter of The Mandalorian, Chapter 13. I'm joined by Chimera 3, Chrome.
Yeah, this is me, Chrome.
There he is. That's Chrome. I'm the hardcore, so you are, you're calling yourself a little bit of a casual.
I would say I'm a casual in the Star Wars universe, maybe not in the film, TV realm.
Yeah, very good film aficionado. What are some of your favorite films?
We'll say Mad Max Fury Road, RoboCop 1980
something
6 or 4. It's one of those. And hey, Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back.
That's great.
That's a great movie. But you know a decent amount of Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know who Ahsoka is. That's important for tonight.
I have seen a few episodes of the Clone Wars.
Okay, so this is a step up in the casual ladder, and we're gonna be going over Mandalorian. Let's just see who's here so far. So we've got Calig and Bill. Big surprise. Love you both. Thank you guys for showing up. Sup, Lore. Sup, Bill. Ashla should be in this episode. Ashla. So are you referring to like when Ahsoka called herself Ashla? That's not on our drinking game. If she calls herself Ashla, I don't think she will. And then just some of the pregame chat. So thank you guys for showing up. We've got new predictions and a couple additions to the drinking game. So I'm going to pull those up. So first, drinking game rules. I'm going to go over all of them. I'll mention which ones are new. As usual, Mando pays for something. It's got to be in there. That's a single sip. The word Beskar is also a single sip. This is the way is a single sip. But before we drink, we have to cheers and say this is the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. This is the way.
This is the way.
Deep lore or legends, decanonized anything, you can just trust me to point those out to you. That's a single sip. Now in the 2-sip category, we've got the child is a hungry boy. This actually, Chrome was the one to originally suggest that being added to the list, so it's appropriate.
He's been very hungry.
And then, let's see. This is also another one of Chrome's, and this one comes... So, this is one of Chrome's predictions, and I thought it was so good that it actually became a rule for the drinking game. If anyone refers to the Razor Crest as a piece of junk, or any facsimile, we have to take 2 sips. And this replaces trailer shots, because I have gone through... And we are done with trailer shots, guys. Everything else is terra incognita. So there is no known stuff here on out. You're off the edge of the map. Here there be monsters. Speaking monsters, we'll get to those in a second. But KOTOR reference, as always, 2 sips. And if the child used the Force, 2 sips. In the finish the drink category, we have a giant monster is killed, just like last week, except we didn't have to do that last week. And this is a new one. So we took off Ahsoka because that was only a finish the drink as long as I predicted Ahsoka would not show up. If Ahsoka's going to show up tonight, but if she's in any way voiced by Ashley Eckstein, finish the drink because that would just make my day. I really, really want Ashley Eckstein to be a part of this.
That's worth finishing a drink for.
It's worth finishing a drink for. And then finally, planetary travel. As usual, we have to show the Mandalorian leaving and arriving on a planet in order for that to count. And that's also a finish the drink. Predictions. My first prediction is that Sabine will not be here. That is my first prediction. I almost changed it to Rex won't be here, but I'm kind of split. But I'm calling it no Sabine. Your first prediction is...
Oh, the Razor Crest will be called a hunk of junk solely because it has just been fixed after 3 episodes of it being totally trashed. And so they will bring attention to that.
A piece of junk!
All right, let's bring back up the rules. All right, perfect. So my next prediction is that we will get a Gandalf reference. So Dave Filoni has been really big on the comparisons between Ahsoka and Gandalf, especially since she was thought to be dead and then came back. And, you know, when she comes back finally, she's wearing the white robes and she's got the white staff. So I'm like, if we get any sort of Gandalf reference, that's a prediction point for me.
Okay, I was swinging for the fences here with a lightsaber duel. I'm thinking Moff Gideon's gonna show up. He's got the dark saber. Ahsoka probably has lightsabers still. I would hope. So, maybe, just maybe, it's kind of just a fingers crossed I'm hoping thing.
Now, we do actually know Giancarlo Esposito has confirmed that he's in a lightsaber duel this season. I don't think it'll be this episode, but there is grounds that is going to happen. And he didn't know that before making the prediction. So, my next prediction, though, is that Ahsoka will say that the locals need help before she will do whatever Mando's requesting.
All right. I suggested that Bo-Katan will appear at some time in the episode. We've seen that Moff Gideon is headed their way, and we know that Bo-Katan is hot on his heels for that darksaber. So
yes, so that's a pretty decent prediction, I'd say. My final prediction, though, is that we will get a tease for a full-blown Ahsoka spin-off live-action series.
All right, and my final prediction is that the child will get performance anxiety. Mando will show Ahsoka his pet, and she'll be like, well, it being all weird and stuff doesn't make it a Jedi, and he'll explain like, it moves things, it's got magic, and she'll be like, well, can you show me? And the child is gonna be like, brr.
I really hope that one happens. Cool. So those are our predictions, and new rule though. If I get a prediction right, Chrome has to drink. If Chrome gets a prediction right, I have to drink. If any predictions are proven wrong, the person who made the prediction has to drink. So, for instance, if Sabine shows up, I have to drink. And then we'll tally up whichever ones aren't done at the end. So, like, for instance, if the child never gets performance anxiety, you'll have to drink when the episode's over. Because you can't prove something until it is over. Yeah. So those are our predictions. That is the drinking game. You are welcome to play along. We cannot advise you as to what you should be drinking. Make sure it's legally appropriate and all that sort of thing. But for whatever age you are or state and or country you live in, but drink something. Get some Jawa juice.
Or very old orange juice. It might do the trick. Okay, maybe not that one.
We're not going to advise that. But we will be playing the drink game. We'll be pulling up the rules regularly throughout the stream so that you guys can follow along. We've also got, as you can see, there's a little timer thing up there. We're going to start that as soon as we start the episode so you guys can follow along, know exactly where we are in the episode. I'm going to start refreshing in just a second, but first, let's take a look. I see some more stuff in the chat. Oh, man. I'm sorry I had to work on Thanksgiving, Bill. That really sucks. I mean, I'm working Thanksgiving, but I really like this. This is fun. This is the fun part of my job. Editing is the part of my job that is laborious. That's the part that is not fun. Yeah, so you're referencing her Rise of the Empire cover. Calig, yes. Do we know the baby's name yet? No, minor. So we just know him as the child. No one has given him a name. And then, No Man Has Gone Before, and we don't know the baby's name. Ahsoka the Gray, Ahsoka the White. It is kind of true. People called her a Gray Jedi, and now she's Ahsoka the White.
Hey.
So, I can dig it. I like where your mind's at, Calig. Work from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Oh, jeez. As a dishwasher. I'm sorry, Calig, sorry, Bill. Dude, that sucks. Did you have to work today?
Oh, no, I didn't work at all. I'm awful like that.
Well, we're gonna pull up the drinking game rules for just a second again, and I'm gonna start refreshing, see what happens, because sometimes they're really crazy and they like to put it out like at 11:50, and right now it's 11:56, so it's not here yet, and that gives us a little bit more time for a little more pre-game discussion. So I'm quite okay with that. Normally, it ends up going up way before I'm ready, so a little like, oh, this is gonna start. We gotta start it now. Yeah. So anyway, this episode's gonna be big, man.
I'm excited for it. This is. I'm
glad that someone who knows who Ahsoka is, because, I mean, So what do you know about Ahsoka? Let's start with that.
I know that she was. I don't know if saying she was a Padawan to Anakin is quite correct.
That is correct.
Oh, okay.
It seems nebulous because Anakin shouldn't have had a Padawan as a Jedi
Because
Knight.
he didn't have the rank of Master.
To be fair, Obi-Wan started training Anakin before he got the rank of Master, but not by long.
Yeah, but those were extenuating circumstances,
Yes.
to be totally fair.
This is absolutely correct.
So I know that I know roughly her personality.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've seen a few episodes of the Clone Wars animated series. So
Not to be confused with the 2D Clone Wars animated feature.
yes, yes. That's decanonized, right?
That was decanonized when they made it.
Oh,
That wasn't even canon under Lucas.
That's a shame. Andrei Tarkovsky or whatever his name is, Master. Go watch that after the stream. Not right now. We're gonna watch Mandalorian.
We're gonna watch Mandalorian. You're gonna watch it with us. Preferably, that's why we have the countdown up there, or the timer up there. It is paused right now, but preferably the idea would be you're watching it along with us, and you've got our commentary on a slightly lower volume on a smaller screen so that you can play the drinking game with us, watch our predictions, and hopefully we'll get some good reactions. Some episodes have been really good for reactions. Some have been a little less good. I think that last week wasn't quite as good for reactions because it was a lot more... There weren't those like pause moments where you could just like verbalize what you were seeing.
Sure, but we got to watch two scout troopers like crash into each other.
The worst part
and
is...
that was very cool.
Keep ripping my pants, man. They weren't ripped this morning. So Dakota is like all about speeder bikes.
Yeah.
And he was refilling our drinks when that happened.
Oh no!
I know.
No,
I felt
no.
so bad. I hope he went back and rewatched that. Yeah, I'm gonna refresh one more time.
I'm actually gonna have the drinks by my feet.
Well, make sure the
So
label.
that they-
I don't want to see the label.
You shouldn't be able to see my feet.
Oh, it's here!
Oh,
It's
ooh.
here!
Oh, boy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is here. I am starting the countdown. Everyone pull up Disney Plus and get ready because it is time. Refresh those pages. It is time for the Mandalorian chapter 13 titled... Oh, I can't see the title. Okay, so we're going to hit start on the chrono up. Here we go. Resume. And then we're going to hit play. This is the way. Counts.
Oh, does it count?
This counts.
This is the way.
This is the way. That's a one sip. This is the way.
This is the way.
Oh man. Just make sure the time. Yeah, the timer's going. Okay, good. Helm's Deep doesn't count unless... Oh! Oh, man. That was way earlier than I expected to see her.
I'll take it.
Oh! Oh, that's interesting. She's wearing the same cape with the chain as Grief Karga. Oh, jeez. So it said magistrate, so that would be why. I've never been so disappointed to not have to finish my drink. I mean, her voice is fine, but it's not Ahsoka. The Jedi.
Yes, eat the ball. Okay, now use the force.
That's a double sieve if he does. He'll unscrew the ball with the force. Certainly. He's gonna stop it with his hand. Oh, nope, I'm counting it. It's an A New Hope reference. Oh, by the way, for those just joining in, drinking game rules are on the screen. We just had to take a double sip because Baby Yoda used the Force. It's like an organic AT-AT, man.
I'm into it.
That is awesome. You got the ball.
It's not gonna stay in the ship.
Yeah, that was really cool. Ahsoka using the assassin tactics. Because she was always a clever fighter. That was like her deal. I like the kind of feudal Japan thing going on. It's
I'm into
quasi
it.
feudal Japan, quasi like China attacked by the Huns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically he is again. Oh, this plot's gonna get interesting.
Wait, he doesn't have his jetpack.
Yeah, that's an inconsistency I've noticed a couple times, that he won't have his jetpack in some shots. And it's really because the costume designers want, or the directors want a specific shot. And it's like, the jetpack gets in the way of the cape. We want the cape to flow right here. But the jetpack will be back in the next shot, I guarantee it. I don't think he had his rifle within the last shot either.
He did.
Oh, did he? Okay. Oh, you know, jetpack's not there, so he might have actually left it behind. Episode 2, though, was notorious. Like, the rifle, like, sometimes he had it, sometimes he didn't. It's just that sense of dread that was missing in the spider episode. Oh, of course. Reminds me of The Office and Cyberpunk. Or not Cyberpunk. Blade Runner, 2049.
Yeah.
The disparity between what's outside, what's inside. We just did a video on that this week. Basilisks. Not basilisks. Oh. Those were used during the Great Hunt. Did not see this coming.
I like this actor.
Yeah. You seen him in other stuff?
No.
Just like him here.
He seems familiar.
Mm-hmm. Dang it. I should have put in my predictions that we'd see a convor. It's a Star Wars owl, but it's always associated with Ahsoka. Did you know Beskar could do that?
Yeah, didn't know that.
You're looking good for your prediction.
Maybe.
Oh my gosh. I'm blown away right now. He wants to keep it. I have to drink. That was a crazy prediction.
I'll take it.
Kid.
What's in your pocket?
Yeah. What has he got in his pocket? This is.
Is that another?
Yeah, baby, Yoda used the Force. That's 2 drinks. Grogu uses the Force. Oh, come on, Ahsoka.
Fair.
Yeah, but that was what made her different in Rebels. I mean, I trust Filoni. He wrote this. Why are head tails smaller than they are in Rebels? That was like 10 years ago. Deep lore! HK Hunter Assassin droids are back and canon. That's a KOTOR reference, and Deep lore sets double drink. HKs are canon, everyone. It is a good day. Looks like you're gonna have to drink because Sabine is not here. I guess you can have till the end of the episode. This is gonna be his theme and Ahsoka's theme overlaid. I can already hear it building up. So you can hear his, but the key is different. I get chills. Is he going to suddenly have a jetpack?
He had time to go back for it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Interesting play. It's a loth cat. We saw him in season 1, though.
Okay.
That's from the animated. Ah, that's interesting. HKs are so cool. I got his pauldron back. He's got the best responses. Uh-oh. Is this stream still out? Oh, it's just my Wi-Fi. That's fine. My Wi-Fi is allowed to go out. We've already established that Beskar can deflect lightsabers. She doesn't wield that thing right. I know what stance she's going for, she's just not good at it. Oof. She's only got a Shoto. no. Beautiful. Oof. Sad day for HK fans. Yes! Yes! I keep forgetting to add that to the drinking game. They're playing the Mandalorian theme diegetically.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. I'll drink to that. It's not on the game, but I'll drink to that.
You think I got that lightsaber duel?
Nope, that does not count.
Bah, that was pretty close.
You were pretty close.
That was very close.
That was very close. But I wouldn't count the opening of Revenge of the Sith with the Magna Guards as a lightsaber duel. Aww. He was absolutely not hungry this episode.
Yeah. I'll argue with you on that duel part, but...
That's it. No? I thought that was the last shot.
Oh no, it's gonna cut to space or something.
Yeah, we don't know where he's going next.
No, I mean it's gonna cut.
That's 2 sips. That's 2 deep lore references. Tython is canon. I am... Here's Ahsoka's theme. Directed by Dave Filoni, the legend. All right, post-episode discussion. So we've got something new this week. We have this board we have listed our ranking for the episode so far. We're going to eventually place this episode on the list. I'll get a little green marker. Here it is. So, but first, initial thoughts. What did you think, man?
That was masterful.
That was masterful.
I think it checks all the boxes that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you have additional boxes.
I have additional boxes that need to be checked.
And I'm pretty sure this checked all the boxes for you too.
Oh gosh. So, yeah. Okay, so what are your boxes? Let us know.
Gosh, I think
You keep talking. I'm going to get some drink that is not for the game, but keep talking.
I feel like a big part for me is character growth.
Yes.
Or character development, where we get to see,
Sure.
when we get to see this traditionally stoic character grow, his perspective changed. I think that is when the Mandalorian, from a storytelling perspective, is at its most interesting.
Sure. I think that's what made episode 2 so remarkable in season 1.
Yeah.
And episode 3.
Yeah, and so I think a lot of my episodes, that might be one of the most heavily weighted things in it.
That's fair.
And I mean that this episode screams that.
It absolutely did.
I thought, I want to. You have the samurai duel.
Yeah.
And the Old West duel
Happening at the same time.
Like the framing of the two next to each other.
Like, because they said this is based on samurai films and westerns, and it's like the two happening at the same time. I didn't even put that together until you said that, because it just felt so natural.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, this is a western scene, and oh, this is a samurai scene, but they were like blending together perfectly. And yeah, that's exactly what was happening.
And,
oh my goodness.
Yeah. Like, I loved that. Gosh, yeah. Action. I'll say, from action perspective, holds up. Yeah. Maybe the best action in the series.
That's a tough.
That's a tall order.
That's a tall order.
It's a tall order, but it's a contender. It's a contender. It's up for debate.
It's up for debate. All right, yeah. So, chat, you can weigh in on the debate as well as we're talking. But yeah. So those were great boxes. I think. So one of the things I've been worried about from the beginning, and I mentioned this to you earlier, but with the rumors coming out early, like, oh, Boba Fett's going to be in this season, Bo-Katan and Ahsoka and Sabine and Rex and all these characters. And I'm like, oh, and Cobb Vanth. And I'm like, it just feels like it's getting crowded. What made Mandalorian season 1 really good was it was really local. They weren't working with any other characters, but with this, he's not like teaming up with other characters. More like he's crossing paths. Mm-hmm. Just like he's kind of touching down and then leaving. And I'm kind of feeling like Bo-Katan's the only one who's going to come back.
Yeah,
because she's going after the Darksaber.
She's
after Moff Gideon, and we know that he's the villain. But Ahsoka just wants, and we know she is looking for Thrawn because Ezra. Now this is weird. This is crazy. Thrawn is still doing stuff. Like we haven't seen Thrawn. We haven't seen Thrawn since the year of the Battle of Yavin. He disappeared. If this post-Imperial holdout is answering to Thrawn, we are setting up heir to the Empire.
Ooh.
Which is... But, so, what bothered me a little bit is she mistreated the civilians. Now, that was fine for any generic post-Imperial holdout, but Thrawn esteemed civilian life very highly. Mm-hmm. He didn't believe in casualties of war and things like that. He believed in dedicating force to your enemy and striking them with precision rather than just But I mean, like, you know, it's possible that she was just a bad follower of Thrawn, but it almost feels so. I'm saying, so here's what you have to, here's the things you have to drink for. Okay, Sabine was not here, so I win that. I think that her mentioning Thrawn is teasing an Ahsoka spin-off series, because that's not going to be in The Mandalorian. If you can contest me on that.
Has anything been spoken on? So is it
Ahsoka? There are rumors.
Rumors,
but you know there were also rumors that Sabine would be in this episode. So who knows who to believe? You know.
Gosh. I'll drink to that.
Drink to that.
I think that's enough up in the air.
I think it's at least. I said tease. I didn't say confirm. I think that this teases Ahsoka is on a path that does not connect with the Mandalorian's path. He's going after Moff Gideon. Ahsoka is going after Grand Admiral Thrawn. They have to take that plot thread somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. So you're gonna. So they have to take that plot thread somewhere, and I think that this teased a Ahsoka spin-off series. Now, it didn't necessarily guarantee live action, but I don't think they'd cast Rosario Dawson for one episode. And Ahsoka said, need to help the locals before I will guarantee training your Jedi.
Yeah.
So you got to drink to that.
That's a definite. I mean, yeah.
I was really worried because I got 3 out of 4, which tends to be my average. Now I have to drink. There was no Gandalf reference. And then I'll also have to drink because let's look at your right predictions. No one called the Razor Crest a hunky junk. You got to drink for that.
Yeah. A little sad about that one.
No one saw it, so to be fair, it wasn't like they saw it and said. Mm-hmm. And then let's see. I'll say lightsaber duel. I won't make you drink for it.
I think
because you
should drink for that. Maybe we both drink for it.
Let's both drink for it.
Both drink
because I'm not counting it, but at the same time,
it's very much a lightsaber.
It was not a lightsaber versus lightsaber duel, but
it was still a duel with lightsabers as opposed to.
Bo-Katan did not return.
She did not return.
So you gotta drink for that. But the child did have performance anxiety, and I already drank for that.
You already drank for that.
I already drank for that.
I was proud of that one.
Oh, you know what? Why is that not? Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. So, dude, that one was a killer prediction. Because when you said it, I was like, it makes enough sense, but like, I'd give the odds being, you know, I would be like, you know, it's happened before. But it doesn't happen frequently.
I felt like, you know, it's kind of tropish enough that it might happen.
Yeah.
Where she might be skeptical, and then my heart sank when she was like, "Oh yeah, he's a Force user. He was in the Jedi Temple." Grogu or Grogu? Grogu. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. We just learned his name 20 minutes ago.
Grogu.
And I'm feeling really good. I scheduled a video on Ahsoka's backstory for 1 a.m. Mm-hmm. That's coming out. I made the video last week, and I'm like, I am confident enough that she's coming. I can schedule the video for 1 a.m. It's going to be awesome. So, Ahsoka's full backstory, that's going to launch in 9 minutes. But no. Grogu, I was so... Because what's weird, someone in chat, beginning of this episode asked, do we know the child's name yet? And I was like, that's a weird question to ask. Like, no, we haven't learned his name. And it was this episode.
Like, I kind of expected that we were never going to learn.
Right. Oh, gosh.
A part of me, as soon as she said his name, I was like, uh-oh, am I going to have to drink for that? Is that deep lore? Do we know? No? Okay, well, you know.
He is the first character of that species in canon to not have a name beginning with Y.
No, I asked you that question before, and you
I said in Legends there were like at least 5 Yoda characters, and they didn't all have Y in their name. But in
Okay.
canon, we have Yoda and Yaddle, and that's it. And now Grogu, Yoda, Yaddle, and Grogu. Grogu, that is just hilarious. Something tells me it won't tag well in the YouTube algorithm, but I'm still gonna put it in there because it's awesome. The child has a name. It's Grogu. HK units are canon.
No, that was pretty cool.
Tython is canon.
Yeah, don't know anything about that one.
It was the Jedi homeworld in Legends.
Okay.
And or the first planet where the Jedi became the Jedi Order. Was not expecting to decanonize thing to become canon, but we got the same thing in. Well, I guess Crate Dragon was really only one Legends thing to become canon. Let's see. Everyone's hyped for Tython and the HK droid. Bill's rating is a 9.5. That's pretty high, Bill. That's awesome. Let's see. Now Baby Yoda has a name. That's Ahsoka's music. Yeah, we did call that, Wesley. Can't believe they gave him a name. Sounds like a funny sitcom in the making, Grogu. And Tython is in the deep core. Actually, I don't know where Tython is on the galactic map. I don't think it's deep core. I think it's mid-rim. But I am not Eckhart's Ladder. I don't have all the star charts and number of turbo lasers on all the spaceships memorized. I've written...
He's getting there. He's getting there.
I've written videos for Eckhart, and it takes so long because you have to look up, like, okay, how many turbo lasers does a Star Destroyer have? And, like, okay, how powerful are turbo... Okay, how strong are Rebel shields compared to Imperial turbo... It's a mess, man. Like, I have mad respect for the knowledge that he has to sift through to do his military analysis videos.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
I mean, Wikipedia gets you there, but it's a rough journey to compare and cross-compare all of those stats. So let's see, what else? Okay, so my boxes that I checked, had great action. I think I was very bummed that we didn't have to drink for Ashley Eckstein's voice because, while Rosario Dawson did a great job, it didn't feel like Ahsoka. Like, it did feel like Ahsoka, but it was like, we saw her in Rebels, which was just 10 years before this. And we saw her, or we heard her voice in The Rise of Skywalker, which was still Ashley Eckstein. And it was kind of like, Rosario Dawson, like, got the vocal inflections really well, but it's still, her voice is significantly deeper than Ashley Eckstein's. So I was like, it wasn't perfect, but then again, I can't ask for perfection. I loved all the action scenes. They had the perfect amount of tension. I was so happy they finally showed that Beskar can... So I think they overplayed it a little bit. So in Legends, or before this episode, the way we understood it is they put up resistance against lightsabers, but like a lightsaber could eventually press through it.
Okay, so
there was
like
there were
Phantom Menace when he's cutting through the door.
Kind of like that, but maybe a little slower, because that was not Beskar.
That wasn't Beskar, but it was also very thick door.
That was just thick.
But like maybe
there were two shots where I was like, okay, she's holding on a little long. I feel like Beskar should start to show some wear at this point, but they obviously either changed or clarified that, because it's not cortosis. But cortosis is also different in canon. It doesn't resist lightsabers; it like deactivates them. It's another metal that's lightsaber resistant in Star Wars.
Way over my head.
There we go.
Anyone marching around in military gangs with cortosis armor?
So they built super battle droids made out of cortosis.
That's super rad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also kind of dumb, but also kind of rad. I'll follow both sides on that.
Let's see. Python. Oh, I didn't know that Tython had a Sith stronghold on it. I'm gonna have to look that up. That's pretty cool. Okay, so it's confirmed it is in the deep core. Yeah, I was wrong. Sorry, Wes. I'm hoping that we get an HK unit in the hyper. Dude, now that HK units are canon, the floodgates are open. We can get an HK-47 facsimile in canon. They almost did with Rogue One. That was the original goal for K2SO, and then they ended up changing him. And then they did again with Mr. Bones, but again they ended up changing him in the Aftermath trilogy. Let's see. Belaya Dorzu's fortress was on Tython in Legends, a place where Bane found the knowledge to make the Sith holocrons. Ooh. Perfect the holocrons. Yes, I got what you meant. Yeah, it's just crazy. I know I lost it a little too much when Thrawn was name dropped.
I mean, even I was like, oh.
I mean, we are Chimera Squadron.
Wow, that's that's unexpected for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's the first time Thrawn's name has been spoken in live action.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously he is canon because he's in Rebels. But last we heard, he and Ezra were kind of ripped into nowhere land. But this means that Thrawn not only survived, but maintained Imperial allegiance, which is what I was hoping for. So a lot of people were wondering, will Thrawn team up with Ezra and become a good guy? And I was like, as cool as that sounds to have Thrawn as a good guy, I really hope it doesn't happen, because what they would have to do is they would have to inevitably nerf Thrawn. Because, Thrawn is... how much do you know about Thrawn? I mean, probably what I've told you, but...
Yeah, just what you've told me.
But what have I told you about Thrawn?
He is a strategic mastermind.
Yes.
A real five-head warrior poet.
Excellent. With art being his poetry.
Yes.
Now, Thrawn, by Timothy Zahn, the guy who created Thrawn, was based on a melding of Sherlock Holmes and Alexander the Great. Which is just the greatest combo. So absolute strategic genius. And he digests art, and from the art can determine their worldview, and from their worldview can determine their battle tactics. And so we'll be fighting against someone and be like, oh, this admiral is a Bothan. Let me pull up all the Bothan art I have. Now I understand him. I know he's going to go over here. He's going to do this. And he has this masterful understanding just from consuming the art. Now, if they made him, he's unbeatable, which makes him a great villain. But if you make someone a hero who is that skilled, you have to give them weaknesses.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they're not a compelling protagonist. That's what happened with Rey. And that's why Thrawn suffered. That's why Thrawn, if you read the new Thrawn trilogy, he has weaknesses that he didn't used to have, and it's because he's the protagonist of the books. So they gave him a weakness that he can't understand politics, and he has this massive and almost brain-damaged blind spot for politics. And so that's kind of the way they gave him a weakness in the books, because protagonists have to have weaknesses. Antagonists don't necessarily. They can be the best, because that just means that the heroes have to overcome that much more to get there. So if they made Thrawn team up with Ezra, they would have had to have given him weaknesses if he became a hero. So because they're keeping him a villain, that means that Thrawn stays cool. And I'm really stoked about that, because I was like, oh, maybe they'll take out Moff Gideon, and then Thrawn will become the next villain of the Mandalorian, and that would be really cool. But my bet would be that they'll do a spin-off. The Ahsoka series will focus on Thrawn as a villain, and the Mandalorian will focus on Moff Gideon as a villain.
Or maybe it crosses into each other.
I think they will. We've heard rumors that they're trying to turn their series into their version of the MCU. So instead of all the movies being interconnected, all the shows are interconnected.
I'm about that.
Yeah. And like the way season 2 is going, it feels like they're close. It feels like they're teasing this for next year. Because we've touched on Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan could get her own series. We've touched on Ahsoka. She will get her own series. We've touched on touched on Boba Fett. What's gonna happen with Boba Fett? More Morrison. And let's see, who else we touched on? Cobb Vanth, I think he could get expanded on a little more. I'm not sold.
Don't give me more of him. I got the right amount of him.
You know,
he learned his lesson. Don't be racist towards the Sand People. They're kind of okay sometimes.
Sometimes. Keyword being kind of and sometimes.
Yes.
They still do pretty terrible and atrocious things.
Okay, but so can the Dune Sea.
True. That's a good point. That's the point Mando brings up.
That's why I brought it up.
All right, let's see. HK47 and HK55 for the win. Yeah, dude, HK55 is awesome. Like, 51 bummed me out a little bit, but 55, I think it's because so HK47, he's this homicidal maniac.
Yeah.
Now, HK55 is what would happen. HK55 is to HK47 what Queel did to IG-11.
Okay.
So he's reprogrammed as a bodyguard instead of an assassin.
All
so he's all about protection. He's still a merciless, bloodthirsty monster, but he isn't. He's more about the protection of the people he loves, or is programmed to love.
Yeah.
And it makes him really hilarious, especially because it's voiced by the same guy. What if Tython is the final episode? No, I think Tython will be the next episode, but that would be really cool if Tython was the final episode. Gideon shows up to steal him right away at the end. And if they make some kind of series or game in the High Republic and HK47 is in it, they will get a better, or they will get Christopher Tabori to voice him. I hope so, man. No one else can voice HK. The ladies' choreography felt clunky and rigid. Thrawn is probably working with Ezra for survival and will part ways when the danger's done. Maybe, Calic. Maybe. And honestly, I hope that they part ways if they do work together. That just leaves Ezra. Yeah, man, Ezra, I mean, he's got to be in it somewhere. And so here's the question. So I think there are 3 options. And I think there's... Hello. I think there's 2.5 options. By the way, I didn't break that. That opens up so I can pull out other boards. This is a chessboard. There's also a Mancala board and other stuff in there. Or not Mancala. What's the oldest game in human history?
I think you're thinking of Mancala.
Oh, am I thinking Mancala?
Yeah. I think you're correct.
No, wait. What's the one with the diamond? It doesn't matter. This is not what we're talking about. Okay, what we're talking about is
Ezra.
Ezra. What did I say about Ezra?
He's going to be involved. Three possibilities.
3 possibilities. 2.5.
2.5.
He's going to go to Tython. Maybe another Jedi will sense him and seek him out. That's what Ahsoka said. Do you think it is Luke Skywalker, Ezra Bridger, or oh no,
who's the
Jedi Fallen Order guy? Cal Kestis. Do you think it is Ezra Bridger, Luke Skywalker, or Cal Kestis? My money's on Cal Kestis. Because of the 3 of them, he's the only one who, at this point in galactic history, Luke won't start his Jedi Temple for another 5-6 years at this point. Ben Skywalker is only 4 years old right now. He won't start the Jedi Temple until Ben is 10. Not Ben 10. Please don't. No. Okay. Until Ben is 10 years old. Cal Kestis, we know, was trying to start a Jedi Order in Jedi Fallen Order. We know he gave up because he didn't want to be hunted by the Inquisition. The Inquisition is gone. So, my money's on Cal Kestis, but could be Luke, could be Ezra, which would bring him into live action, which would be crazy. And then, those are the 3 options. Do you have any input?
It's way over me. I couldn't even attempt.
Yeah.
Your big
okay,
old
the chat is
brain
saying Cal
going-
Kestis. Well, we got 3 votes for Cal and 1 vote for someone.
Someone will be there. I like that vote.
Well, see, actually, there's a 4th option,
Fourth option.
which is that no one comes.
Nice.
And that the Mandalorian has to learn to take on the child as a Force-wielding Mandalorian.
Yeah, I can see that coming.
Especially considering we know they want to keep the Mandalorian going for decades.
Yeah.
And the child is an intrinsic part of what makes the show work.
Mm-hmm.
So having the child dip out
Yeah.
would kind of shorten the lifespan of the show.
So my big prediction this week was that that Moff Gideon was gonna have reappear.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not pushing that to next week.
Okay.
Because if someone's there, if no one's there,
Right.
it gives them proper motivation to keep going, to run away, and to
Right.
keep this series
Sure.
moving ahead.
Yeah.
So,
Now, so here's my
but
thing,
I can
though,
be wrong too.
because this is the other question I have for everyone. I really got the impression Ahsoka is not coming back this season. She's going in a different direction. Like, Bo-Katan is going towards the same spot as Din Djarin.
Well,
They both
by,
are after...
by association.
By association. So, Moff Gideon is after
Or
Din Djarin, and Bo-Katan is after Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
So, but my question is, we know that Moff Gideon engages in a lightsaber duel. And I really get the impression Ahsoka's not going to come back. So who is it? Who's he going to fight with? I think the option there is really Cal Kestis or Ezra. But then again, if Ezra comes back, that would be associated with Ahsoka's timeline, and then there would be no reason for Ahsoka not to be there. So I think Ezra's actually... I think it's really just Ahsoka or Ezra. Will Ahsoka come back, or... Not Ezra, I'm sorry. Will Ahsoka come back, or will Cal Kestis show up? That's the real question. And we know Cal Kestis is played... Like, the guy who voiced Cal Kestis, the model is based on him. He's the guy who played Joker in Gotham. You know that guy? No, okay.
No.
Supreme redhead. Just the reddest of gingerheads. I mean, he looks like, Cal Kestis is like somewhere between 16 and 19 during Jedi Fallen Order, which was 15 years before A New Hope, which is 9 years before Mandalorian. But the guy who plays him is older, so it's very possible that he could come back to play him. But I think... Well, oh wait, we wanna rank it real quick before we go.
Oh, yeah.
So we're not doing the number rating this time. I find that is just a little too unrelated. So for my listing, I have at number 1 spot The Redemption. You also have The Redemption at your number 1 spot.
It's a very good episode.
It's a great episode. For my number 2 spot, I have The Marshal. Your number 2 episode was The Sin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
My 3rd episode is The Sin, so pretty close there. But your 3rd episode is The Prisoner.
Yeah. It's... okay. You caught me.
4th episode for me was The Heiress, which was 2 weeks ago. And your 4th episode was The Marshal.
Once again, I mean, we're very close here.
We're very close for our first few. My 5th episode was The Reckoning, which was chapter 7. But your 5th episode was The Siege, which was last week's episode.
Oh, yeah.
And then my next one is Sanctuary, which is chapter 4.
Mm-hmm.
Your next one is The Mandalorian, chapter 1.
We gotta start somewhere.
Gotta start somewhere. My next episode is The Prisoner, which was your 3rd episode.
Yeah.
And then your next episode is for number 7, you have Sanctuary.
Yes.
Which was my 6th. For 8, I have The Siege, which was last week's, and you have The Child, which was chapter 2.
Yeah.
Suga! I have Mandalorian at number 9, and for number 9, you have The Reckoning.
Yes.
And then for number 11, I have the passenger, and you also have the passenger.
Yes.
And we also agreed for the last one, Gunslinger, coming in at 12th place.
I'm real sorry, Dave Filoni. You know, sometimes we don't. You go up to bat and you strike out.
So I think it's safe to say, though, of the 3 episodes we've seen from Dave Filoni, I'm going to kneel here so we can see me. Of the 3 episodes we've seen from Dave Filoni, my highest was The Mandalorian, which came in at 9th.
Yeah.
And your highest was The Mandalorian, which came in at 6th.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say this was Dave Filoni's best episode.
Easily.
Okay. So where would you place it on 1 through 6?
I'm put it number 2.
Number 2! Beating
Yeah.
out the sin.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo!
Number 2.
I'm also putting it at number 2, beating out the Marshal.
Yeah.
So now we agree on our number 1 and number 2 slot and our 11 and 12 slot.
Look at that.
I think that some things are just universal.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
I'm so glad you said that. And if y'all want to know, thank you all so much for watching. If y'all want to know how I felt about this episode, I think this pretty accurately sums it up right about here.